storytelling bird, a tale from Mongolia. Long, long ago, in the top of a 10,000-year-old tree, lived a magical bird. And the story went that if you catch the bird and take it home, the bird will grant you any wish you make. So you can bet many people tried, but nobody did it. Nobody did. After a while, people just stopped trying. But there's a prince in the story, and the prince heard about the bird, and the prince said, well, I'll give it a try. So he went to the bottom of the 10,000-year-old tree, and he started climbing up, 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 up. And he saw the bird in the branches up a little higher. It was amazing, amazing looking bird. Wow, wow. I wonder if I can catch it. He went quietly, quietly on branch by branch. The bird did not fly away. He took hold of the bird gently, but quickly, and pulled it to his chest, held it with one arm, held the branch with the other hand. The bird did not move. In fact, it just settled into his chest. And the prince climbed down with the bird in his arm. And he looked at the bird and said, wow, I thought you were going to be a lot trickier to catch than that. And the bird looked up at the prince and said, oh, I'm not tricky to catch at all. The tricky thing is getting me home. That's the tricky thing. What's tricky about getting you home? Said the prince. Well, said the bird, I can disappear. Just like that. Really? So, we're just walking along and you just suddenly disappear and that's it? Well, not exactly, said the bird. I can't just disappear anytime or I'd disappear right now. No. A certain thing has to happen for me to be able to disappear. And what is that? Silence. But you mean if there's silence, then you can disappear? Right. But what if we talk along the way? And we talk and talk and talk all the way back to my home? Well, then there's no silence. In fact, one of us could tell a story all the way back. In fact, I'm a great storyteller, said the bird. Do you like stories? I love stories, said the prince. I love stories. And you're a storytelling bird. Yes, I am. But there's one thing about this. If I tell a story, you can't sigh. You can't go, oh. Well, why would I do that? I don't know. But if you do, then I can disappear. Well, that's not what I usually do when I listen to a story. So you tell the story and I'll listen and we'll go home to my home. And then I'll make a wish. I wonder what I'll wish for. Okay, said the bird, but first, listen to this story. There once was a farmer walking with his dog down the road when he saw a wagoner standing next to his wagon. The wagoner was shaking his head. What's wrong? Asked the farmer. Oh, look, my wheel is broken on my wagon and I need to take it in to the village to get it repaired. Well, that's not a problem, is it? Said the farmer. Yes, it is a problem. I can't leave the wagon here by itself. Well, why? Nobody's going to take your wagon, especially if there's a wheel missing. No, 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 look. And he moved a big canvas off the wagon. And there, the whole back bed of the wagon was filled with gold bars. Wow, said the farmer. That is worth a fortune. I can see why you don't want to leave it out here in the woods. I'll tell you what, though, wagoner. I'll watch your wagon for you. I like to help people out if I can. I'll watch the wagon. You go get your wheel fixed, and I'll just stay here. Go ahead. Wow, that is very kind. Thank you, thank you. I'll do it. So the wagoner took the wheel off and started rolling it as much as it would roll towards the village. The farmer and the dog waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. And the farmer said, "Oh my, I wanted to help him out, but it's starting to get late and I need to get back home and cook dinner for my grandpa. I'll tell you what, dog, here's what you do. You stay here and guard the wagon. Don't let anybody come near except the wagoner. You got it? Good dog, good dog, good dog. You are such a good dog. Excellent. Okay, you know what to do? Guard the wagon, right? Good dog, good dog. And so the farmer went back to his farm, and before too long, the wagoner came back and saw the dog and saw his wagon was safe. And he said, "Oh, at first I didn't see you. I was afraid that the farmer had gone, but I see the farmer looked after me even when he had to go home. You're a good dog, and your master's a fine farmer. I'll tell you what, I want you to take one of these bars of gold. Take it to your master." And the dog took it in its mouth, the gold bar, and went back home. The farmer came out the door. He heard the dog barking, and he saw the dog. "Hey, you're back." "What is that?" "You stole that gold. You stole that gold, you bad, 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 terrible dog." And he grabbed the gold bar and he started beating the dog, beating. Went the prince, and the bird disappeared. Well, the prince went back to the 10,000-year-old tree and climbed up again. And he captured the bird very easily again. And he came back down and he said, "Okay, bird, well, you got me that time. That story had me. You definitely got me. But will you tell me a new story? Because this time I won't anything like that. We'll get all the way home." "Yes? Sure," said the bird. "Here's a new story. This one's about a woman with a baby. She's taking care of her baby there on the table in its little crib. Cat across the room. And she said, 'Hey, kitty, kitty, kitty. Meow. Now, kitty cat, I've got to go out and hang out the laundry, the wash. So I want you to watch baby. Make sure she's safe. Okay?' Meow. Good kitty, good, 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 good little kitty." So the woman went out to hang the wash, and the kitty cat watched and listened. The baby was sleeping. The kitty cat watched and listened, and just then a rat came across the room, climbed up the table, climbed up into where the baby was in its little cradle, and bit the baby in the ear. The cat jumped up onto the table, ran after the rat, ran outside, grabbed the rat, threw it. And that was the end of the rat. The cat came back in, climbed up on the table. Oh, that baby, that poor baby. And the kitty cat started licking the baby's ear to make it feel better. Meow, meow. The mother came in. She had heard all the noise, and she saw the cat licking the baby's ear, which was still bleeding. And she looked at the cat and she said, "Cat, you bit my baby!" And she grabbed the cat and threw it against the wall. Said the prince. And the storytelling bird disappeared. The prince went back, climbed up the tree again, caught the bird again, just as easily as the first 2 times. Back down. Okay, bird, you got me 2 times now. Will you tell me another story? Sure, I know lots of stories. Here's this one. Man traveling through the desert, across the desert. Oh, he's thirsty, 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 thirsty. He comes to a place, whoa, some trees. Maybe there's something to drink. Oh, look. Drip, drip, drip. He saw the drips dripping from the rock. Drip, 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 drip. He took out his cup. He went to fill up his cup from the drip, drip. And just then, a crow flew down and knocked the cup out of his hands. Caw, caw, caw! And it flew back up in the air, and the man looked. His cup on the ground. That crow, oh, I was so thirsty. And he grabbed a rock and he threw it as hard as he could, and it hit the crow and knocked the crow out of the air, and it boom, right on top of the rock where the drip had been coming from. So he wanted to make sure he had gotten that crow, and he climbed up on top of the rock. And sure enough, the crow was there, dead as dead can be. And right next to the crow was a snake that was also dead, hanging over the rock. And its mouth was open, and the poison venom was drip, drip, dripping off the rock. Drip, drip. And the bird disappeared. And that's the end of the story, of the storytelling bird.